Good evening, everyone. We're here for a regular meeting of the Laramie City Council. It's September 17th. I'm going to call this meeting to order and invite you all, if you'd like, to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, please go ahead and call the roll.
Gabriel.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
O'Doherty.
Here.
Pierce. Here. Richardson. Here. Shumway.
Here.
Somerville. Absent. Cumby.
Here.
Harrington.
Here.
That's 8 present and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. We're going to move on to public comment on non-agenda items. Any member of the public wishing to speak to the council on an item that is not on the agenda, go ahead and come forward in the room. You'll have 3 minutes. Please. We'll just need your name. You'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening and thank you, Council.
Welcome.
I'm here on a very serious matter.
Sir, could you give us your name?
Oh, Robert and Mark Armstrong.
Thank you.
And filed an affidavit. I'm here to ask Sharon Cumby to remove herself from the ballot. She was in the absentee ballot counting room, which violates Title 22-9-125 DIII and is a felony to be there.
Mr. Armstrong, can you please speak to things the City Council has control over?
Oh, they do. So Ms. Cumby should remove herself from the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you taking time to be here. Any other comments this evening? Seeing none, we will close public comments. And I'm going to go to the Vice Mayor to set the agenda, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the agenda be set as submitted.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Vice Mayor Cumby, second by Councilor Newman. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, the agenda has been set, folks. We're going to move on to proclamations, public hearings, and presentations. This evening, we have a proclamation that it is my pleasure to read. And this proclamation, councilors, is for Hunger Action Month. Whereas hunger and poverty are issues of vital concern in Wyoming, where 14.4% of people face hunger in Wyoming, and 1 in every 5 children do not know where their next meal will come from. And whereas everyone needs nutritious food to thrive, and in every community in America, people are working hard to provide for themselves and their families, yet in 2022, 44 million people, 1 in 7, including more than 13 million children, 1 in 5, faced food insecurity in the U.S. That includes 83,780 neighbors in Wyoming. Whereas the City of Laramie is committed to taking steps to combat hunger in every part of our community and to provide additional resources that those in Wyoming need. And whereas the City of Laramie is committed to working with Food Bank of Wyoming, a member of Feeding America nationwide network of food banks, in educating people about the role and importance of food banks in addressing hunger and raising awareness of the need to devote more resources and attention to hunger issues. And whereas 15.5% of individuals in Albany County are food insecure, and whereas the members of Food Bank of Wyoming distributed more than 8.7 million meals across Wyoming in 2023 through its network of food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and other community organizations. And whereas the month of September has been designated Hunger Action Month in order to bring attention to food insecurity in our community and to enlist the public in the movement to end hunger by taking action, including volunteer shifts, social media shares, and donations to ensure every community and everybody in it has the food they need to thrive. And whereas food banks across the country, including members of the Food Bank of Wyoming, will host numerous events throughout the month of September to bring awareness and help end hunger in the local community. Now, therefore, I, Brian Harrington, Mayor and President of the Laramie City Council, do hereby recognize September 2024 as Hunger Action Month in our City of Laramie, and I call this observance to the attention of our citizens. And if I can dig through my stack of papers, we have Danica Sveda and Jill Stillwagon, maybe others. I'd invite you all up anybody that wants to join you is very welcome.
Kramer.
And I see Mr. Kramer back there. Great.
Thank you. Always an on button. My name's Jill Stowwagon. I'm with Food Bank of Wyoming, and this is my colleague
Danica Spida. Odessa Oldham.
and our hunger relief partner.
Yes. So Ted, Laramie Soup Kitchen.
Just thank you for bringing awareness to September Hunger Action Month. We were actually in town today visiting with Ted at the Soup Kitchen. They're one of our hunger relief partners here in Laramie. We also partner with Interfaith, the University of Wyoming Food Pantry, and Wyotech as our hunger relief partners. So really just bringing awareness to food insecurity in Wyoming. Like the proclamation shares, about 14.4% of Wyomingites are experiencing food insecurity. So we're using this month to bring awareness to the situation and ways to get involved by donating, volunteering, like at the Soup Kitchen or one of the other pantries, or raising your voice and checking in on neighbors that may be experiencing food insecurity. So thank you for taking the time to raise awareness about our work. Anyone else have anything?
Go ahead.
All right, Honorable Mayor, Council, thank you again for this opportunity. We had the pleasure of being at the Capitol last week for a similar proclamation by the governor, and that was pretty exciting. And so we appreciate the proclamation here as well. We always look forward with collaborating with the food bank. A lot of our conversations today talked about the vision for the future and for a future of no hunger within Laramie. And I think that there's a lot of strides that we can make going forward. We're excited about ideas that we've discussed, and I think that with the other partners in town, Interfaith and Food Share Pantry and all the other entities that we coordinate food with, all the other nonprofits in town, there's a lot of excitement to be had to really address this issue of hunger in Laramie for our residents. So we're excited to move forward, and always great to work with the Food Bank of Wyoming.
Anyone else like to add anything? We're going to make you come take a picture with us, but first, I just wanted to say thank you all for the opportunity to acknowledge the work you do. I think you do something that obviously the government cannot always do effectively, and you do it well and in support of our partners. So thank you. And come on up.
One thing.
Oh, please, just come up to the microphone so they can hear you on the Zoom call.
If you guys know any beef cattle producers here in Fremont, or Laramie, wow. Wait, sorry. I'm looking to purchase for the food bank, and
Okay.
we're trying to get as much Wyoming beef as possible.
Cool.
So I haven't got anyone here yet, so I would love to get that knocked off my list.
Great.
Sure.
Vice Mayor, please.
You might want to check with 307 Meats,
Okay, I can do that.
because I think that they could put you onto something.
Ag extension, too.
And
Councilor Richardson.
the Ag Department.
I also am just curious if you all are accepting wild game donation, and if that is something we can help. I know that we have been able to do that in Wyoming. Is that something we could help promote as well?
Yeah, so technically the food bank cannot, but what I do is I act as a source, but he can.
Great.
Yes.
So yes, we've accepted wild game for many years. In fact, it's one of the greatest resources for Wyoming, both our ag as well as our wild game. And I think it's a reason why for soup kitchens in Wyoming, we're able to provide meat all the time. I did serve briefly as a volunteer as a food bank in, soup kitchen in Chicago, and it was pretty much never a day that it wasn't coming out of a can. So that's a huge benefit for Wyoming. So we do accept wild game. It must be professionally processed, so it can't be home processed. So if you like to do your own, there's also opportunities to work with the Hunger Initiative, which is the First Lady's initiative, to be able to help with some of those processing costs. And that goes with both domestic as well as with wild. So lots of opportunities there. And so it's pretty impressive what the Hunger Initiative is able to do to be able to inject meat and beef and other animals, meats into the system for lower income people.
Thank you.
Thank you all. We'll invite you up for a photo. This is a swinging door. You can just walk right through the middle of it.
come out this way and then not leave with
And then like, no, I just didn't want that.
Okay.
Please.
You might want to ask Counselor Shumway what he was just moving pallets of food recently.
Please, Counselor.
On Friday, I helped move 19 pallets of food into Interfaith that was donated. And then on Monday, we moved 5 more pallets of food that had been donated. Ridley's and others had been donated. We moved that into storage because, thank goodness, at this point, our shelves are full because of the donations that come from the community and from people that work in this community. But it's been an honor to work with Interfaith, with Ted Kramer at the Soup Kitchen, with all the people that do so many things for this community, with with our governor's wife and all that they do for food insecurity. It's a very rewarding and fulfilling opportunity. I think we can all be proud that Laramie has taken that step forward to where we really are in a strong position at this time.
Thank you, Counselor. Appreciate you sharing that. All right. Thank you all. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right. We have no public hearings or announcements this evening, so we're going to move straight to monthly staff recognition. City Manager, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm thrilled that we have a fairly light agenda tonight so that I can take a little bit of time with this staff recognition. As you know, we typically recognize a single staff member, although occasionally we'll look at a team, a small team. This month, we are recognizing an entire department of the city, which is our IT department. Now, that sounds daunting, but they are small but mighty, and we have all of them here with us tonight. So I wanted to tell you the reason that I nominated this department to be our rock star of the month, or our employee group of the month. That is because you all may recall back in July hearing international news surrounding the CrowdStrike computer crashes that affected global commerce all across the globe. Our team, I should back up a little bit, our city is a subscriber of CrowdStrike and was affected, just like major airlines and other international corporations. IT division, or excuse me, department, they really met the moment when challenged by the CrowdStrike crash, and they were able to keep our organization running very smoothly with absolutely zero interruption of service to the 34,000, 33, 32,000, whatever the census decides we are, number of people that we serve, but also no real lost downtime or loss of productivity across the city's workforce of some 270 people. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about what it took for them to do that, and then I'm going to ask Department Head Jonathan Rhodes to come up and introduce his staff. So a little bit after midnight on the 19th of July, our city servers and computers were immobilized by the CrowdStrike software update. That compromised some of our most critical public safety functions. Director Rhodes immediately mobilized his team and reached out to me and to other folks who could actually help, unlike me. And they began working feverishly to get our servers back up and running. That recovery process meant that the staff members in IT had to manually remove a file from every affected machine that crashed. And as you can imagine, an organization of this size, we have hundreds and hundreds of computer assets and servers and other things of that nature. So this was a very time-consuming effort on their part. In total, IT staff worked 120 hours between July 19th at midnight and the 21st, I believe, in the early afternoon is when they were able to kind of step down their efforts. Our police chief, Brian Brown, actually recognized to our internal leadership team what a great success it was. He noted that IT was already on staff and fixing impacted devices before the Laramie Police Department over in our dispatch center and elsewhere could even diagnose like what was going on and what the problems were. So again, no interruption of service to citizens, no loss of productivity in times of city staff effort. And so I'm just so appreciative of Jeff, Tracy, Chad, David, and Lionel under the direction of Department Head Jonathan Rhodes. So with that, thank you so much, you guys. And Jonathan, why don't you come up and tell these guys about your staff?
Thank you. Director Rhodes, welcome.
Mayor, Council, I have a great IT staff that works for me. Often I come before you and you approve a budget of something and then something magical happens in the background. My staff is the magic that happens in the background. Tracy Williams and Chad Durr are not able to be with us today, but we do have here Dave Cook, Lionel Newberry, and Jeff Lynch, who do a great job in working on our staff, and I appreciate their efforts. Dave in particular was on call that night when it happened, and by the time I came in a little after midnight, he already knew what was going on and how to fix it, so then it was just a matter of mobilizing the rest of the staff to work and fix it. And everyone pitched in and got it done, and we felt pretty good with the results that we had, especially as you started seeing others who were not as fortunate to recover as quickly as we were able to. And again, the credit goes to my staff for the great job that they do.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Any of you guys want to say anything?
I don't want to say anything.
Thank you. Hey, would you all mind coming up for a picture with us? We do that for proclamations, but it would be great to do it with you all as well. Council, I thank y'all for humoring an extra photo. I'm sure nobody minded. Councilors, any disclosures this evening? All right, I'm going to go to the Vice Mayor then for approval of the consent agenda, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the consent agenda be approved and that each specific action on the consent agenda be approved as indicated.
Second.
Motion by Cumbie, seconded by Pierce. City Clerk, please call the roll when you're ready.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
Richardson. Yes. Shumway.
Yes.
Somerville, absent. Cumbie.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses, 0 noes, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. The consent agenda has been approved. We're going to move on to item 11. Councilmember Richardson, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve on third reading original ordinance number 2088, amending Chapter 10.36 of the Laramie Municipal Code to regulate parking rates and implement vehicle immobilization in the city of Laramie, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign.
Second.
Motion by Richardson, seconded by Newman. Chief Brown, please. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the third reading, so I won't get too deep into the weeds on this one. There are a few changes that I wanted to address and a staff recommendation, and those are simply housekeeping tips to make sure that we're able to implement on the financial side and the citation side and the tracking component, the changes requested by council. So a few of those are additional subsections so that we can accurately track the first violations that were requested to be reduced to $20. In the first, I believe the request was 5 business days. After working with finance and our court system, our recommendation is that we change that to 7 business days or 7 days. And it was because of our system's ability to track business days versus regular days. And then our recommendation would also be to start the 7-day process the day after the citation is written. So one example I had is if it's written at, for example, at 11:59 at night, then the first day would start the next day, so it would start at 12 o'clock instead of counting that 11:59, that 1 minute as the first day. So I don't see that happening in a lot of situations, but it is a possibility. So I definitely wanted to give the benefit to our citizens. And with that, I'll take any additional questions you might have.
Thank you, Chief. And is there a council member interested in entertaining those motions? You'll find them on your cover sheet. Councilor Doherty, please.
Okay.
Oh, did you have a question?
No, I was thinking Counselor Newman did the similar thing last meeting. Oh, okay. I'm
He's on
happy.
his own over here.
I'm happy to do
All
that.
right, thank you, Councilor Doherty.
Okay. I move to amend original ordinance number 2088 by amending section 10.36.350.C.1 to add amend 5 in parentheses, business days to 7 in parentheses, number 7 in parentheses. Add days, I'm sorry. Add 10.36.350.C.2, third and each subsequent violation of the residential permit parking within 12 months shall be fined at a rate of $100, and amend section 10.36.230 to add A, second violation within 12 months, and B, third violation and each subsequent violation within 12 months.
Second.
Motion by O'Doherty, seconded by Newman. Council members, any discussion there? I think we got a good explanation from the chief, but, all right. Any member of the public wishing to speak to the amendment specifically, we'll come back to the main motion in a moment, but specifically to the amendment, now's your chance. Go ahead and come forward in the room or raise your hand on the Zoom call. Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment. Councilors, before the vote. All right, City Clerk, please call the roll on the amendment.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Somerville. Absent. Cumbie.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses, 0 nos, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. The amendment has been adopted. Councilors, we're now back on the main motion as amended. Any discussion? All right, Councilor Pierce, please.
Not necessarily a discussion, but I'm hoping council gets an update after like a year's time. I don't recall noting that in there, but I think you should get an update.
Thank you, Councilor Pierce. We'll
Yeah.
send that out into the world and be well received by my staff.
Please give
who is-
council an update in a year.
I think that's a great idea, Councilor. All right, any other questions, council members? Okay, we'll turn it over to the public. If there's any member of the public wishing to speak to this ordinance on third reading as amended, go ahead and come forward in the room. For the record, you can raise your hand on Zoom too, though there are just no people left there. Please, Mr. Grabowski, go ahead and come forward. And despite us knowing it, we will just need your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
It's always funny enough.
It's always, yeah, it's a,
I have to admit I'm lost. The acoustics in here are horrendous.
yeah, you got, is your microphone on? Speaking of bad acoustics.
Yes.
So we're taking public comment on the ordinance
Right.
at large now. And so the amendment really just cleaned up language. It's been adopted. And so we are now just taking public comment on this ordinance.
On the new
fees,
situation, which
right,
I'm not
yep, the new, yep.
up on at this point. So, but as to the direction of the whole thing as it stood, I appreciate the efforts to try and make things better, but I thought it was overkill. The first time around, $80 or $40 we got a tourist, we got somebody in a restaurant, got to order, you got to wait in line, got to wait for the menu, got to look at the menu, got to order, and 2 hours have gone by, and suddenly you got an extra $40 or $80 added to your bill, or somebody's shopping. First time he's ever been shopping, didn't know there was a downtown, comes down, shops, and I guarantee you, he hit him with a $40 or an $80 fine, but just a little sign at the end of each block that they didn't know were there. They will never shop downtown Laramie again. I think $10 the first time and a warning or something, or just an explanation of how it works, I think would work really well. And of course, it isn't shoppers we're trying to get after, it's us business owners, the ones who are big violators. That's just the direction. I think you might have made some progress towards that, possibly. If so, thank you very much. But that's from a business owner, Steve Grabowski, business owner and building owner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grabowski. All right. Any other members of the public wishing to speak during the public comment period? Go ahead and come forward in the room. All right, seeing
Mayor,
none.
would it be advisable just to update Mr. Grabowski then on what
Yeah,
we're...
I was going to wait for public comment to close,
Okay,
and then we'll come back to it.
because we've talked about this in previous meetings, and I think we have some really good amendments that we approved and took into account his concerns.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Gabriel. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment then, and I'm going to recognize Councilor Newman, please.
So looking at all the work sessions that we've done, and I would have, thank you, Councilor Doherty, for reading that amendment. I just forgot my bag, so I didn't have my laptop. The first ticket is $40, but if you pay it in 7 days, then it's $20. So we gave them that break, and the reason why, we did that is so they can't, if I got a $40 ticket downtown, I'd be upset too, right? But if you pay it within the 7 days, then it'll be $20 instead of the $40. So, and then the second time, it does go up from there. But I wanted, the amendment that passed 2 weeks ago was, if they pay it within 5 days, we just modified that today to 7 days. So, and the whole point of that was we needed to try something, and I think this was the something. If it doesn't work, then obviously we're going to come back and readjust. So,
thank you. Thank you, Councilor Newman. Any other comments from the council before we go to the vote? Okay. Thank you all. Did you have a comment? Okay. City Clerk, go ahead and call the roll. This is on the ordinance third reading as amended.
Richardson.
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Somerville, absent. Gabriel.
Yes.
Newman.
yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses, 0 nos, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That item has passed. We'll move on to item 12, public comment on non-agenda items. If there's a member of the public wishing to speak to the council on an item that is not on our agenda, now is your chance. Go ahead and come forward in the room or raise your hand on the Zoom call. Okay, seeing none, we will close that public comment period. Council members, any future work session topics that are of particular interest to you? All right, that's great. Councilor Pierce, item 14, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Pierce, seconded by Richardson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Council members, we are adjourned.